Welcome back into the Blue White Players Show. I'm Aeneas Hawkins. I'm joined, Landon, by a very special guest in the middle of Landon and myself. I have a hard time not showing bias when Dvon J-Thomas comes on one of my shows, but this is my guy, my young guy, now turned old guy, leader of the Penn State defense, number 91. Devon, how are you feeling today, sir?
Man, I'm good. You know, it was a long day. Just trying to get better today too.
Yeah, so talk to me. It's the off day, and the off day, quote unquote. But as a vet on that defense, what does a typical off day look like for you?
I mean, we got film at around like 3:00. Then we'll just usually get our recovery and stuff in. You know, we got the cold tubs, hot tubs, sauna. You know, whatever that needs to look like to prepare our bodies for, you know, that tough Tuesday and that long Wednesday. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what the Mondays look like. Wake up in the morning, get your breakfast in, go to class.
There you go.
Thank you.
Good. I do have to ask, what was the feeling like when you get out of the game a little bit early? You get to cheer on the young guys on Saturday. How early did you get to get out?
You know what? We were pretty much done by like halftime. Yeah. But honestly, it was just a surreal feeling. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Hawk, like he said, you know, he was an older guy in the program when I came in as a freshman. So I'm sure it was similar to that when he started seeing me develop or make plays on the field.
Yeah.
You know, like I have been, you know, for however long I've been here and
18 years.
Yeah, it was what it seems like, you know. But no, it's definitely a surreal feeling. You know, those young guys put in a lot of work just as much as we do. It doesn't always look the same. Trust and believe it doesn't. You know, they're still young guys, but they're definitely working hard. And it was just special to see them in the game making plays.
I want to ask you, out of that group of young guys, who are some names that you have some confidence in moving forward based on what you've seen in practice so far?
There's a good amount of guys. I know Max Granville, he's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
You know, he's a freshman from Texas. He's the one that reclassified up. So he's one of the young guys in the room that definitely has a lot of potential. He had the strip sack fumble that they called back, but watch the film.
We'll count it.
We'll count it. But he had that. And then Ty Landon, they're doing a lot better in terms of their development and their consistency and what they're doing on and off the field. So I have high confidence in those guys. Oh, Harvey as well. You know, all those young guys. I have high confidence in all of them.
I want to ask you real quick though about Dejon Lane back at safety. I know you got your back towards him most of the time. Yeah. He's a special player though. I mean, I've heard that from everybody around the facility, around the team. Can you speak to what he means to the team? Obviously, out without KJ for a little bit, but you got a young guy stepping up and stepping in a big way, and it looks like he is filling that void very well for a young freshman.
I mean, you know, you have to look at our safety room historically, especially. You know, we've always had incredible safeties. Yeah. And then when you see a young guy come in and he's able to fill that role after a veteran safety is out for however long he's out, you have to know that he's a special player, you know, and then that's a testament to Coach Dex as well. You know, all the talent that he's put out, all the talent that he's seen. For him to be putting a freshman in, it must be, you know, incredible things that he's doing on the back end of things. I don't really see too much of it too often, but he must be doing some incredible things. And every time I look up, he's somewhere near the ball or making the play. So I agree with them wholeheartedly.
I think it's so difficult. We all know how difficult it is to get on the field as a freshman. And we've talked about this. If you are getting played at Penn State as a freshman, you're probably going to be a superstar here. I mean, that's how it goes. So definitely got some young guys we're excited about. Devon, we always kind of take it back on this show. We want to go back to your recruitment, your process. You're from McDonough High School in Maryland, a little bit outside of Baltimore. And there's a direct pipeline from McDonough to Penn State going back. I think what started with really PJ Mustipher.
Yeah.
And then it was you, then Curtis Jacobs.
Let's not forget the most important. K-Nut.
Will Knutson.
I just want y'all to go back and watch that film. He locked up Chase Young in high school.
Okay, this is a sidetrack.
Defensive end.
Give the people
second overall pick.
Give them context. So Will Knutson was a walk-on offensive lineman for us at Penn State. He was here for 4 years. Did it all by the book. Was a great player for Penn State in terms of his role. Now, in high school, when Will Knutson was healthy and he was at his leanest, he dominated Chase Young for 4 quarters. Like, I'm talking about Chase Young did not win a rep. I went back and watched the game.
Yes.
It was incredible.
Yes. I remember he talks about it often. So if you haven't watched it,
he'll never forget it. He never will forget it. Yeah.
Dude, growing up in Maryland, like Chase Young, he was the guy.
Oh my goodness.
He was king there.
He was untouchable.
I love to see it. So excuse me, we got to give. So we have a total of like 5 or 6 guys. Because then we had K-Nut and you in the same class. Then you got Curtis Jacobs in 20.
Okay, K-Nut is a year older. He's with PJ.
Oh, he's with PJ.
Yeah, he's with PJ.
Oh, 2018.
So him, Hawk, PJ, they all came in the same class together.
Yep.
Oh wow, good group.
Great crew.
And then it's Deny, Mace, Kurt. You know, it's a crazy pipeline. You know, the amount of talent that comes out of the area alone is kind of ridiculous. You know, we talk about guys like Chase Young. You know, guys like Landon, Tengwall. You know, Maryland guys that have showed their prowess as football players, and playing at a high level has never really been too much of a problem for any of the guys coming out of Maryland, I think, but maybe I'm a little biased. I
do want to ask, what other schools were you looking at before you committed to Penn State?
Ohio State, USC. And that's really what it came down to. Penn State, Ohio State, and USC, really.
You wanted to be close to home?
Yeah, I definitely did. I wanted my parents to see my games. You know, my pops, he was in the military for 25 years. And so those first couple years of high school, he wasn't able to come to the games. So in that, and of course, my mom came, full support. My family members came full support. But I definitely want my pops at a lot of my games, all of my games, because, he's that one that's going to look at you like this, like, you better tighten up.
No doubt.
He says it with no fear in his heart. You know what I mean? So, I definitely thought it was important for us to be like close to home, so that way they can come to the games without it burning through their pockets.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask more questions about your recruitment because it's so interesting to me. I can remember a chilly spring morning in 2019, getting done with the 24-period practice, fighting Juice Scruggs every play. I've had a long day. I'm ready to get out of the Lash building. It's a Saturday.
Of course.
And a young Dvon J-Thomas walks up to me. And I forget I think maybe we had a rap battle in the middle of the field. You challenged me as the high school recruit you were. And I knew right then what I was walking into when you came to Penn State. But I want to ask, throughout that recruitment process, what was it about Penn State other than the proximity that really stuck out to you enough to come here?
It was a family orientation. I mean, after being here for so many years, and you guys are now in the space after football, where you guys get to experience more with, those who came before you. So like all the donors, all the former players, et cetera, et cetera. So you just get to see the power of a family unit. And I felt like Penn State really had that. Even as a young guy, I understood that for my development, not only as a player, but as a man, I needed those around me who were going to challenge me, as a man and as a player. And I felt like Penn State was the place to do that.
Absolutely. So. Yeah, Devon, I got to bring this up anytime we're on air. For those that don't know, me and Devon, we played each other in high school. I was a freshman. I think Devon was a junior at the time. And I'll tell you what, like looking back, and I'm just thinking about this now, their team had Devon, it had PJ and Curtis all starting on defense at McDonough. And they all started at Penn State together. So first off, that chemistry has to be crazy starting for that long together. But I just got to go back. And I just want to say we never got to play the game against Devon's team because McDonough, they decided they didn't want to play my team, Pilati, at the time. I think and they decided to step off the field.
I think it was more of a safety precaution for their team. Landon was the largest player they had.
He was 12.
He's 12 years old. His jersey is loose as they come.
No tape.
No tape. No flag. No nothing.
His Twitter was full of workout videos.
Looked like a Halloween costume.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I think it was more of a safety precaution for them. So
it would have been a bad day for us.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, it would have been.
Landon came talking crazy.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I heard he was like talking crazy to you and PJ.
Oh yeah, I did. Oh my goodness, as a freshman,
I was afraid when I first got to Penn State. I remember I was still a recruit, and I was a good junior in high school. And I would always kind of like dodge PJ Mustapher when I was up here. I used to see Pete, like I'd see PJ on the field before we played at McDonough. And I'm like, yo, PJ, you suck. Like, and PJ's like a 5-star senior, and I'm a freshman. And my coaches are trying to instill all this confidence into me, and I'm going with it. And thank God we didn't play that game.
Yeah, your coach set you up.
My confidence would have taken a major setback if we would have played McDonough that day.
Blake Corum was the running back at that time too, so he would have got shut down.
Josiah was on. Josiah Izzard.
Cole at D tackle, but Cole was also
a young guy,
200 pounds and played defensive end. So.
And I didn't even, and then me and Devon, we got to meet playing. We were both doing shot put the following spring. And because I didn't really know you then, but we got to meet following that. And now I think we've known each other for like 7-8 years, something like that. So me and Devon go a long way back, man. Once you got, I want to get into his career once it gets to Penn State. And obviously, everybody like has a different journey. So can you just talk about, coming in as a young freshman, having to, adapt to college life? And we know how different that is when you get to campus and you're used to the coaches patting you on the back and they're recruiting you. They're showing you a lot of love. And it's the first day and you're like, what's up, coach? And he just looks at you, you jog onto the field. And it's like, this isn't the same anymore. Can you just speak to like that difference when you get here? You're a college player now.
Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. That's the common phrase as soon as you have your welcome to college football moment.
So I want to ask you, Devon, because I have one in mind. But I want to know what your true welcome to college football moment was, because I know what it is for you in my head, and I want to see if we're on the same page.
It was against CJ Thorpe, one of the senior.
We're on the same page.
Yeah, okay. Senior offensive lineman at the time. Now, mind you, I'm a freshman. Look, I'm pretty strong. I've always been a pretty strong guy. But you have 3 years in the Penn State football strength program, and it's going to multiply whatever your strength is by 10. Yeah. Now, at this time, CJ Thorpe, he's a junior. I'm a freshman. I just got there a month before that. We had started, summer camp. We're going back and forth. I had just ran the conditioning test because I couldn't pass it to save my life. Then I went from the conditioning test to Lions Pride. Then we had Lions Den right after. They go in. CJ Thorpe starts pushing my coach, freshman. I'm like, it's my OG. I gotta, help him out. Not that he really needed it, but I go at CJ. CJ goes back at me. Coach Franklin sees it. He stops everybody. He said, quiet. Devon, CJ. Lions Pride. Yeah, next thing you know, I'm head to head with a junior offensive lineman who's 340 pounds.
And was known for physicality and aggressiveness. That was his whole swag.
Yes,
that was the whole thing.
Strong as they came. And I'm a freshman that just lost 40 pounds of baby fat, still weighed 290 something pounds. And I said, you know what? I can't go like that. If I back down now, then it's going to be worse than if I just go in there and lose. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, this is the same day, Devon. So number one, if you're a freshman, people don't know this, and you fail the conditioning test during the summer, you have to run that thing every day at training camp right before practice. And if you think that Coach Franklin is going to care that you ran the conditioning test, as soon as you're done stretching, you're going right in the Lions Pride versus somebody who's also 320 pounds and pissed off.
Yes. And that wears on you. The conditioning test is not sweet now.
No, it's not sweet at all. Yeah. That's typically you have one or the other on any given day. Anytime you're doing both, you're probably not in a good spot. The same day that you and CJ got into your altercation, Sal Wormley was also a freshman, and I was the vet. And Sal, at this point, I was trying to get out of Lions Pride and graduate, as you know, the vets typically do. And Salim slipped at the start of the drill. I heard Coach Franklin blow the whistle, so I knew it was over. I knew Salim thought it was over. Yep. I did not stop trying to push Salim Wormley around. Like, he's on his hands and knees, and I'm like driving his head into the ground, trying to, again, graduate. I'm not thinking that Coach Franklin is going to see the scuffle and put his finger up in the air like this and say, run it back. And Salim Wormley, when I tell you he double leg, I'm talking about slam me in front of my dad who was at the practice. That was the craziest. I remember that day vividly, Devon. So we both had a welcome to college football moment, I guess. Same day.
Yeah, for sure. That was
your welcome to college football moment was just 3 years into your college career.
It was just every day for 3 years straight. Just getting slammed.
Wait, I have to ask you guys. Yeah. I think it's okay to ask because you told it on air before. I feel like I remember in 2021 when I first got here, you guys got into a fight.
Me and Devon.
You guys got into like a real fight.
Bro, we talk about this every time. Look.
Devon and I did get the scuffle.
Yeah, like Hawk started it.
That is a lie. That is a
okay. I just have to start this out with like the offense is separate from the defense. So they were doing a walkthrough like maybe in Haluba, and we're out on the practice fields. And we just hear like, yo, Devon and the Hawk, they just got into it. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense because they're like best friends. So like, what happened? So we're trying to get to the bottom of it, but I'll let you tell the story.
No, I'm going to tell the story because he's going to lie. This is what Devon's going to do. I'll tell you exactly what happened. We're at a walkthrough, like you said, meaning nobody's in pads. We haven't stretched. We are walking. We are taking mental reps out here. Everybody's in sweatpants hanging out. Devon the little rascal he was, kept running his fingers through my mohawk at the time. I was having a bad day. I had failed a test in Pollock earlier that day, so I'm not having a good time. Devon keeps running his hand through my mohawk. He does it 2 times, 3 times. 4th time, I catch Devon's hand on the way in and throw it as hard as I can away from my head. I'm thinking Devon's going to be reasonable here. He's the one running his hand through my mohawk. No. Devon Elise takes that sign of me throwing his hand as disrespect and throws the meanest straight right hand of all time. At this point, again, we're best friends. I'm confused as to what's going on, and I got Devon now trying to smoke me in front of all my peers.
I just want you all to know that his response was immediate and right now. It wasn't any hesitation, so there's no way I believe that he thought that I threw the first punch and I wanted to
You
fight.
did throw the first punch. You did throw the first punch. We won't lie about that. But
no, we're not going to say that it was out of aggression. It was not at all. I was playing with Hawk as we usually do.
The thing is, Devon is heavy-handed, so it doesn't feel like he's playing when you get punched in the mouth by Devon. It never feels like a joke.
And he threw the quickest straight right.
I did, but here's the thing.
My chin.
Here's the thing.
Then dipped.
But here's okay. So this is the last thing I'll say about this story. So after Devon hit me, I went into a rage in my mind. I'm like, I'm gonna hit him as hard as I can. Like, we're in a fight now. I hit Devon flush as hard as I can. This man does not blink. I immediately recognize that. I'm like, he's about to really hurt me if I don't grab onto him until the coaches get here. And I just remember holding on to Devon. I'm like, where are these coaches at that like to break up fights? Like, why aren't they coming now? And Coach Franklin's over there smiling, having a great time. They love that fight.
Enjoying it.
Yeah.
Devon, man, I got to ask you. So, I mean, you obviously have played with some really talented guys on the D line, going all the way back to the Wild Dogs with Sean Spence. Obviously, Deion Barnes is doing a fantastic job coaching up the group now. Who is the most talented? We got to exclude Micah Parsons. We know he's the most talented. We see what he does every Sunday. Outside of that, who is the most talented, gifted guy you think you've played around?
Most talented, gifted guy. Physically, just athletically, just.
All right. I know. It's Goon. Goon's raising his hand over here. No, I mean, there's some guys. You were here for Yetur Gross-Matos, a couple other.
You want me to be honest? Completely honest. I might have to say between. I think it's between 3 people.
Okay, I'm interested in this now.
Jason always won for sure. My freshman year they said he needed to stop lifting. Yeah, because he was getting too strong. I've never heard that before. That was crazy.
It was incredible.
He said he had 2 sacks, and he just had like 2 sacks, like two and a half TFLs like a week ago.
But he used to do the same thing at Penn State. He would not play. They put him in back-to-back sacks. Take him back out the game. I'm like, what just happened?
Like, when did it happen? But he's definitely one of them. And then he's as fast as ever. He ran a 4.3, I think.
Yeah, 4.36.
Yeah, with Micah come on now. And then I'll have to say, show love to Hakeem Beeman was a game. He's a freak of nature. He runs a 4.5, 4.6. Yeah. I think his fastest was like a 4.5. He weighs like 290 pounds now. Still as fast as ever. And will bench and squat with the best of them. He did 4.05 our freshman year for 20 reps.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Well. Squat.
Yeah. No. Nah. But and then probably that's tough. Zane or JJ Vandenberg.
JJ was another one that people don't know.
Like, people don't know. Like, Zane, extremely athletic as well. Fast as they come. That's Florida weather. You know what I mean? But JJ, South African legend here.
He's doing really well at Georgia Tech, by the way.
Yeah.
He's winning player of the weeks and stuff. So sorry, continue.
No, let's go. He's doing very well. He'll squat 600-700 pounds. He ran a 4.1, I think, in his 20-yard shuttle.
Yeah.
And he ran like a 4.6, 4.7 40.
Yep.
I think around that time. At 312 pounds. Yeah. So he's definitely one of those athletic freaks. For sure.
He came in and he was maybe 240, 250 pounds. Like he was a smaller guy. Like he had taken the JUCO route. He decided he wanted to play football really late and then happened to be really good at it and put on a bunch of weight, similar to what you did, Landon, when you were younger. But I feel like so often you don't see guys make that significant of a leap that late into their development. Yeah. But I can remember when he was at Penn State, he's a freshman on the D squad, and he is so dominant on the scout team against the starters as a true freshman. You remember Franklin had no choice but literally like every day during camp to give J.J. Vandenberg a shout out because he had like 6 sacks. Like,
I remember that.
Yeah. It was every day.
I mean, there's nothing like when you know he was going to put it up on the screen because Franklin loves to show hustle plays. He's going to put them up on the screen.
JJ was a hustler.
Yeah.
He was clumsy.
He was clumsy kid.
Love him. But I love clumsy as they come, man.
Last JJ story for you real quick because we do got to get out of here soon. But I can remember again his freshman year, Sean Clifford is in his 5th year with the football team at this point. Yeah. So again, you already stay away from the quarterbacks. You especially stay away from the 5th-year quarterback who's been the starter since 2019. Yeah. J.J. Vandenberg takes whoever the right guard was.
Oh, my goodness.
Straight back into Sean, throws him into him. Sean turns around. And this is why I like Cliff, because Cliff, in the heat of battle, is not going to recognize where he's physically outmatched. He's going to step up every time, no matter what. Throws the football off of the back of J.J. Vandenberg's head. J.J. turns around and just lifts him from under his shoulder pads. And Sean's like on his toes, running back. Franklin tries to. It was hilarious. Top tier memory for me, for sure. Yeah. Watching Sean get carried off the field while Franklin screamed. That was hilarious. Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. No, one more JJ story. We get into a fight. I believe last season. Not me, not I. But he was in, and this is during practice. We're going through our reps. You know how Tuesday practices get inside run, the whole 9 yards. So JJ and one of the scout team offensive linemen, they get into it. So JJ's like, I don't even know how to say it in a South African accent, but he says, "Stop doing all that extra stuff." Right. So then he does it again. Yep. Next thing you know, you see him drop. And in the fetal position, he just kept swinging and swinging. Yeah, JJ he dropped him with the helmet on. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's a strong kid, man. He was notorious for if he would lose a one-on-one rep, he would then body slam whichever offensive line blocked him when they weren't looking. It was like,
I'll never forget, real quick, I know we got to get out of here, but Ibrahim Traore and him were going one-on-one, and he's blocking him up, and he kind of shoves him in the back after the play, and JJ's facing the other way, so JJ kind of gets thrown, and he turns around, and Neeb starts to walk back. And then poor Golden Achumba is sitting right there, and he tackles Golden.
Yes.
And Golden wasn't even in. That is JJ was a guy who would always get his get back on, if he lost the rep, he was going to get you physically.
Yeah. He was a strong kid, man.
You got to bring your lunch pail to practice, man. That is the one difference about college and like high school.
Oh, my goodness.
Everybody's coming in college every single night. It's no joke.
No doubt about it. Well, hey, thank you for tuning in to the Blue White Player Show. Devon, thank you for joining us as always, my guy. Stay tuned next week. Flat tire. We'll get him some new tires. If anybody has an NIL deal, he'll take it. I'm Aeneas Hawkins.
Range Rover, please give me some new tires.
Give Devon a call. We'll see you guys next week.